Mechanochemistry is probably an older technique than people know of or think of. We grind things together, we mash things together, and that's how we do reactions. It's an old tool, but it's got so much utility. And so I think when we look at chemistry, every chemist has a toolbox that they use. They reach in there and they grab different things from day to day. You know, your chemists that make, TVs and make screens, they use a different toolkit. When you look at people who make pharmaceuticals, they use a different toolkit. When you look at your chemists who make plastics and adhesives, they use a different toolkit. But the root toolkit that everyone uses is chemical synthesis. As Wilfried said, taking A, mixing it with B, creating C. And in all of those processes, there is some level of waste, there is some level of, byproduct that's formed that you don't want. And everybody, no matter what your background is working to reduce that piece, to make chemistry more efficient, to make chemistry more safe, and in a way that makes chemistry more sustainable overall.
Yeah, I think important is to understand the role of the solvents, and about 60 to 80% of the waste that's being created in a chemical reaction is related to the use of solvents. And that's why I think it's so important that we try to minimize the use of solvent, because that equates to waste, and that of course is not desirable.
Chemists have been searching forever for a universal solvent that they could do every reaction in and never have to think about it. And we haven't gotten there yet. But to think about it in a contrarian way, maybe the universal solvent is no solvent. It challenges what we already know. Taking a reaction that has worked the same way for, let's say, 100 years, and saying, let's try this thing without solvent, and you get a new product, is wildly fascinating. It challenges what we know. It forces us to get uncomfortable as researchers and to really explore how reactions work and happen.
What has been recognized is by academics as well as in industry that there's a huge potential, and that the easiest way how we can make progress is when we work together. Another layer I would like to add is also as a cultural change, because I think it's really important that students early on in their education, when they study chemistry, are exposed to these new technologies.
Your students and those new fresh eyes on chemistry will come up with ideas that are wildly more creative than your own. I give my students projects and they run with it and they come back to me with new things almost every day. And so giving them these new tools at an earlier standpoint will allow us to change chemistry literally forever.